Welcome back to the channel, survivors. Today we're going to be diving back into some Enshrouded. As you guys can see here, I'm going to actually show you my Mage build. Now, this Mage build is pretty much dedicated when it comes to wands as being your primary source of attack with a staff backup. Additionally, here this build is focused heavy on Pyromance, so the fire damage in the game over top of the other elements. I've been using and finessing this build the entire time that I have my playthrough through Enshrouded, which is roughly 60 to 80 hours inside of the game, and I do find that this is a really strong build, and I haven't really struggled against any enemies in the game using it. So starting us off with the skill tree, all right, diving right in. When it comes to the center circle here, I didn't really take a whole lot of anything. I just took these two, which was quality gear, meaning all tools lose durability 50% slower, which again is a given and a must. We have the mason, which pickaxes deal 30% more damage against stone objects. I did this one because we were mining a lot of ore, and because of that, I wanted to make sure that, you know, it was doing more damage. So again, just these two little ones aren't necessary. You don't need them if you don't want to spend them. But anyways, diving into the actual magic portion of the tree, we'll talk about these couple other ones here that I actually spent some points on for the other trees and why I did. But starting us off here, the very first one is, and the strongest one, as I mentioned, is very wand heavy, and that does bring us to the Battlemage, you know, tier. We start off with the intellect. We kind of went straight down the center here because it does pretty much everything we need. As you can see, on a successful parry, you gain 20 mana. We've got more intellect for magic damage. We have increased, you know, damage with wands, you know, to recover more mana. You name it, we've kind of pumped everything in to the wand aspect. The reason why this one is really nice is because this actually goes hand in hand with using the wand and using a shield. This is a really strong combination in the game. If you have not checked out my video where I talk more about that in depth, I highly recommend that you guys do. But anyways, that's the first tree that we went all the way through. The second tree that I've been utilizing, and that is sort of the healer tree. And now this was directly used because two things. One, I wanted the water aura, which is down here, and it does provide healing for yourself and for your allies. And secondly, because I was also playing with a friend, and so because of that, he was not running into the healing realm, and I decided I wanted to be a little bit of a healer and also help with, you know, managing our health. So that's why I've ran down here with the water aura. Even after the buff, I still find it very viable and really usable. But anyways, through this one, we also did pick up some intellect, which is more, you know, magic damage essentially that you do. We've got both of these. We've got the modification here on the waters of life, and then we do also pick up the spirit down here at the bottom to increase our mana pool. Notice that I left a lot of these other healing waves out, and I'm also not a martyr. I did not think any of those were useful for this specific build. The next little tree that we started working our way down, as you will notice, we kind of dumped into the fire damage. You can see we've jumped into spirit here. We've got the necromancer, which is really cool. I will state that this is another really nice one. When you kill stuff, you have a 10% chance to summon a skull companion that kind of just floats next to you on the ground, which again is really cool. It does help out with that extra damage. But anyways, where it kind of kicks off is right here. We have the spirit to increase our mana. Once again, we did not go the ice route, the thunder route, or the lightning route. Instead, we kind of jumped over here to the fire damage, which was increased by 10%, pyromaniac, which then increases it by another 20%, and then we jumped in here to the radiant aura, which, as you can see here, all fell foes within 10 meters will take 1 fire damage per intellect that you have, and then the same thing for the sun aura, and then we broke off here once again for more spirit to increase our mana. I personally, like I said, I mean, you could go down this route if you want, but for me, in the specific build, I found this was much more useful. So that's going to be the brunt of the mage portion, I guess, of this build. It's really focused and designed, like I said, for wands to be your main primary attack, and then we have a secondary one that you could utilize, you know, your individual spells to do other things. But for me personally, when it comes to the wand aspect, the reason why I went fire damage was because two reasons. One, I had a lot of fireballs. You could see level 1, and I had fireballs level 2 already in my inventory. Therefore, I just, you know, went ahead and rolled with that. But secondly, I did find this wand early on. It's a level 20 luminous wand legendary, and as you can see here, +8 to fire magic damage, and then +8 to fire magic damage. We do have the +11 for ice magic, but that's not really that big of a deal. We have +16 essentially for fire damage on this weapon, and because of that, that's kind of what led me to dive deeper into the fire realm and then really just hone in on doing more damage with fire items. Now, as far as the other couple of stats extra that I have here, you can see pumped into like the assassin tree or pumped into the survival survivor tree, it's for a good reason. The very first one for survival, we did do the endurance because you have to start off somewhere. You can't just pump into a random one out here. But we did endurance, which increases our stamina. Again, that's really nice and goes hand in hand with blocking using your shield. We went runner, and then we went to get the double jump. The double jump in Enshrouded is amazing, guys. It is in my opinion, must-have for every single player to have unlocked at some point in their adventure. Hopefully, earlier than later, because it allows you to get to a lot of other areas and places that you wouldn't otherwise be able to reach, or be able to glide a lot further by being able to jump at a higher distance. So again, really good one to pick up. And then the same thing goes for the Assassin's Tree. We went ahead and rolled with this one here, which we got gliders consume 30% less stamina. Again, a really good one. In this game, you're going to spend a lot of your time gliding and jumping off of high areas to constantly get to other, areas that you couldn't reach otherwise, or it would take you a significant amount of time in order for you to traverse on foot. So because of that, we went ahead and picked up those couple extra points. I've also seen other people in their builds pick up Updraft, which again is a nice little feature, catering to the glider. If you guys like that, then go ahead and pick it up. But for me personally, I didn't feel that it was necessary, or at least I haven't felt that it was necessary so far in my adventure. So now with that being said, let's talk about the gear that I'm currently wearing. Now, obviously this gear is not the best in the game. I am currently wearing level 18 gear for this video just to show you, but in general, this gear is the Magician set. This set you can make via the Alchemist NPC. So once you unlock him and you've progressed a handful through the quest line, you'll unlock the mortar and other pieces that he needs in order to craft additional armor sets. But if we take a look at his armor sets here that he does provide, this is the Magician set here. I would say eventually you'll unlock the Archmage set, which is technically a level 23 gear set, but that is actually going to be better than the Magician set to kind of stay in line with what I'm currently building. You can obviously check out the Warlock set, the Sage set, all of that other stuff. But for me personally, Magician, Archmage, and then you'll eventually unlock and find, because you can't craft this from my understanding, but you find it, and this is going to bring us to the Elder set. The Elder set, once again, is just a max level 25 gear set for Wizards and Magic class, and this one actually is literally a direct replacement for what I'm currently wearing, which is the Magician set. All of these pieces will cater to doing more magic damage, more damage specific to individual elements. They'll do, as you can see here, more damage against magical foes. You name it when it comes to these individual pieces. This is going to be the best set for magic users in game. And now, last but not least, let's talk about the individual food items and buff items that you can use and consume that also cater really good into this build. So right off the bat, if you unlock the farmer NPC, you eventually will need these other crafting stations like the oven, for instance, to make some better quality dishes. But starting off, we've got the mushroom omelet. Now this does give you +4 intellect, which for 40 minutes, which is really nice, which is directly boosting your magic damage or damage that you do using magical items. So again, really strong here. Another one that you could look at would be some endurance food. Now endurance does give you direct stamina, and stamina once again works really nice for this combination of the shield and the wand, because you are going to need stamina in order to take and block hits and parry hits. So that's going to be another one that you can look at. Additionally, if you guys are going for a lot of glider flights, or you're going to need additional stamina recharge, sugar is another really good option that you could consume just to take with you and have in your inventory. And additionally, another one that I love to keep on me at all times are these little blue mushrooms, these azure mushrooms. You can find these, obviously don't eat them raw, cook them and grill them first, but anyways, you can find these in the Shroud. Specifically for me, right around the ancient spire of Revelwood. If you go into the Shroud, anywhere around there, you'll find these things in abundance. They're just all on the ground everywhere you go here inside of the Shroud. Just pick them up in bulk, especially if you are a magic user. As you can see, I just found some there. As you want to make sure that you do cook them, because a lot of food inside of Enshrouded, when it's raw, will have negative effects on you. But either way here, if we go ahead and cook up some of these blue mushrooms, you will see why they are very good, because right off the gate, they give you +3 intellect for 25 minutes. Again, a really strong early game buff, I would say. Just work your way through to the Revelwood Ancient Spire, go into the Shroud and collect as many of these blue mushrooms as you possibly can, because they will directly increase the magic damage that you provide. And there you go. That is my official Pyro Battle Mage build that I'm using in Enshrouded. As I mentioned here, it probably could be better. Maybe there's a little bit more finessing either when it comes to gear or buffs or, you know, individual skill sets. But for me, this one has really worked wonders inside of the game, and I haven't really struggled to survive at all realistically. And especially when I tag team the wand with the shield together, it's just an OP combination. You guys let me know what your thoughts are on this build down below in the comment section. If you have any additional suggestions or changes or anything, also put those down there below, not only for myself, but for anybody else as well that is looking to finesse this build or use it inside of the game. As always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything Enshrouded related. Don't forget, I do have a Discord. You can always find that link down below if you're looking to join a awesome, cool community. We would love to have you. But with that being said, as always, guys, I'll see you on the next one.